right, Republican Senator Mike Braun has slammed the impeachment push as being purely political, and he joins me this morning. Senator, you watched yesterday. It was a marathon again. Did Democrats present any new evidence to sway you on Monday?
No, and I think that's why it's going to end just like the Mueller report did with a thud again. You know, I go back to the fact that it was shortly after he was elected, you know, there was discussion of impeachment, and that was happening in November, December, January, leading up to not even being inaugurated. So I think it was a question of what the vehicle was going to be, and now that we're here, the one effort failed. I think the true anxiety on the part of Speaker Pelosi is that she was hoping public support was going to crescendo into now.
Right.
And of course that peaked about a month ago. And the fact that swing states are actually, when it comes to who they're going to vote for, it now looks like they're leaning towards Trump. And that's got to be really scary for them after they put so much effort into this.
And regardless of that, though, you know, they just had John Ratcliffe on special report last night. He told Bret Baier they're going to push forward with this. In his opinion, they're going to impeach the president, which means the Senate will become very interesting now. And that's your house. And at this point, do you see any of the moderate Republican senators like the Susan Collins, do you see them breaking at all with the party and maybe voting to convict?
Well, in the business world, what they're doing, it's called a sunk cost.
Yeah.
And when you put that much time and effort into it, it's always disappointing when you get to this point and it looks like it's just not going to work out. As far as senators like Susan Collins and others that are going to be more moderate by nature, I don't think they're going to be swayed by anything where you just regurgitated the same information, tried to spin it in a different way, and you end up with the same conclusion. So I believe we need to have the process in the Senate, and to the extent that the president needs to do whatever he wants to do to now make his case, I'm for that. I just don't believe there's going to be enough there to even make that take it into a deep process.
Well, and you said, so you've said that you would consider new evidence if you got it. I've heard this theory that in the Senate, you know, guys like Bolton and Mulvaney could be compelled to actually testify because you've got the Chief Justice right there, and he could force the issue and make them actually talk. Bolton called this a drug deal at one point. If you got something from somebody else, what would it take to change your mind on this?
Well, I think that if that actually was out there, there would have been some indication of it. Yeah. And I think that between what the Chief Justice does and the rules of the Senate, we'll see an accommodation through the process if, in fact, that's there. It would have to be something so overwhelming, because I'm almost certain that had that been there, we would have heard it by now, and we'll see what happens. But I think this has got to be a big disappointment for individuals that have been looking forward to it and planning it for over 2 years, and it's hurting the other side politically. So
as it stands right now, the Senate, you think obviously is out of play as it stands right now, I should say. But,
yes, I've not heard one senator wavering based upon what we've heard so far.
And what about do you think is there a chance any Democratic senators might go over to the other side with the Republicans?
I think there very well could be.
Because that would send a message.
That, like I'm thinking of one down in Alabama that might have some difficulty deciding which way to go. So, and especially with the case as it's been laid out so far, it looks strictly political, and I think they're going to pay the price for it in 2020, the Democrats, and I think it's going to hold some surprises on, you know, what might happen in the Senate with even some Democrats.
Okay. Indiana Senator Mike Braun.